Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and friends, in a world that constantly demands our adaptability, it's easy to lose sight of who we truly are. We are encouraged to compromise, to adjust, to conform to the expectations of others. However, let me tell you today, do not negotiate who you are. You are enough just as you are, and the value you bring to this world is tied directly to your authentic self. In a world that often seems to value conformity, the act of embracing authenticity is both revolutionary and deeply necessary. Authenticity is not merely about being true to yourself when it's convenient or when others expect it of you. It is about consistently aligning your actions, thoughts, and values with your true essence regardless of external pressure. At the core of authenticity is the refusal to wear masks or adopt personas that are not genuinely yours. We live in a society that frequently tells us to fit in, to blend in, or to follow the crowd. From the clothes we wear to the opinions we express, there are constant reminders that we should mold ourselves into an acceptable shape. But in doing so, we risk losing the very qualities that make us unique, the spark that drives our passions, and the depth that fuels our purpose. Embracing authenticity means understanding that your individuality is a strength, not a weakness. It means cultivating the courage to stand firm in your beliefs, even when they do not align with popular opinion or what is expected of you. Authenticity demands that you reject the notion of trying to please others at the expense of your own integrity. It's about refusing to be a version of someone else's idea of success, and instead charting your own course, one that reflects who you truly are. Being authentic is often challenging because it requires self-awareness and the willingness to confront your own vulnerabilities. It means acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses, your ambitions and your limitations. Authenticity requires that you be honest with yourself, even when the truth might be uncomfortable. Yet it is precisely in this honesty that true growth happens. The more you embrace who you are, without apology, the more you begin to see the power and beauty in your own story. Authenticity also invites a deeper connection with the world around you. When you are true to yourself, you attract relationships and opportunities that resonate with your values and passions. People can sense when you are being genuine, and they are naturally drawn to your honesty and vulnerability. You are more likely to form meaningful, long-lasting connections when you show up as the real, unfiltered version of yourself. In short, embracing authenticity is not a one-time decision, but a lifelong commitment. It is a promise to yourself to never abandon the unique qualities that make you. It is a declaration that your value does not lie in being like everyone else, but in being unapologetically yourself. When we talk about negotiating who you are, what we're really addressing is the harmful tendency to compromise your core identity in order to fit into someone else's narrative. In a world that often emphasizes the importance of conformity and approval, the pressure to compromise can be overwhelming. It may begin with small concessions, changing the way you dress, altering your opinions to avoid conflict, or silencing parts of yourself that feel too different. But over time, these small compromises accumulate, and what was once a reflection of your true self becomes a watered-down version that aligns with others' expectations. The danger in this is not just about the superficial changes you make, it's about the deep internal shift that occurs when you begin to believe that who you are isn't enough. When you start negotiating your identity, you send the message to yourself that your authenticity is negotiable, that it's okay to compromise on who you are in exchange for the acceptance or approval of others. This erodes your self-confidence, leaving you with a sense of emptiness or dissatisfaction. The more you compromise, the more disconnected you become from your true self. Instead of living a life that feels fulfilling and meaningful, you find yourself living a life that is a reflection of someone else's desires or standards, rather than your own. Moreover, the consequences of compromising who you are extend beyond personal dissatisfaction. When you compromise your identity to fit in, you lose your unique perspective and value. The very things that make you stand out, the qualities that bring diversity to the world, are hidden or suppressed in favor of blending in. This leads to a life that is less rich in authenticity, creativity, and individuality. You may find yourself surrounded by people who appreciate the version of you that is molded by external pressures, but this connection is superficial. True connection can only come from being genuine, from showing up as your real self, not a version of yourself that has been modified to fit a mold. Compromising who you are also stifles your growth. When you stop honoring your true self, you stop evolving in ways that are meaningful to you. Growth happens when you stay true to your values, your passions, and your goals. When you let go of those core beliefs to appease others, you are essentially halting your own journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. Over time, this can lead to feelings of regret, confusion, or resentment, as you realize you have been living a life that isn't fully aligned with your purpose. One of the most insidious effects of compromising your identity is the way it undermines your sense of self-worth. By sacrificing your truth for the sake of fitting in or gaining approval, you signal to yourself that you are not worthy of being seen and valued for who you truly are. This can lead to a perpetual cycle of self-doubt and insecurity, where you are constantly questioning whether you are enough, simply because you've been trying to be someone you're not. Instead of feeling empowered by your unique qualities, you feel diminished by the constant need to change or adjust who you are in order to be accepted. In professional environments, compromising who you are can also affect your career trajectory. You may find yourself taking on roles, responsibilities, projects that do not resonate with your true passions, simply because you want to please others or avoid confrontation. Over time, this can lead to burnout, disillusionment, and a lack of fulfillment in your work. When you compromise your identity in your career, you diminish your ability to contribute authentically, which ultimately impacts your success and satisfaction. You may achieve external success, but you will feel hollow inside, as if your work is detached from your values and what truly matters to you. In relationships, compromising who you are can be equally damaging. Whether it's in romantic relationships, friendships, or family dynamics, the act of suppressing your true self to fit into the expectations of others can create a disconnect. When you hide your true feelings, desires, and needs in order to maintain harmony or avoid conflict, you are not giving those around you the opportunity to know the real you. This leads to a lack of depth in your relationships and an overall sense of isolation. Even though you may appear to be getting along, there is a quiet erosion of trust and intimacy, as people can sense when someone is not fully being themselves. Ultimately, compromising who you are leads to a life that feels inauthentic. The more you try to live according to someone else's script, the more you lose touch with your own. The danger of this compromise is not just that it leaves you feeling unfulfilled, but that it makes you forget what it feels like to be truly yourself. Over time, you may lose the ability to distinguish between who you really are and the person you've become out of necessity or fear. And in this process, you risk losing not just your authenticity, but your sense of purpose, joy, and meaning in life. Staying true to who you are is not always an easy path. It requires an immense amount of courage, especially in a world that often values conformity over individuality, convenience over authenticity, and social acceptance over personal integrity. The courage to stay true to yourself isn't just about standing firm in the face of criticism or opposition. It's about the inner strength to resist the temptation to change who you are just to fit into the expectations of others. This courage is not something that comes naturally to everyone, and in fact, it is a quality that must be cultivated over time through self-awareness, resilience, and a deep commitment to personal values. The first aspect of this courage involves the ability to face discomfort. Being authentic often means stepping into situations where you may feel vulnerable, exposed, or out of place. The discomfort of standing firm in your beliefs or values can be daunting, especially when it feels like you are going against the grain. For example, in a work environment where certain norms or practices dominate, it takes courage to voice an opinion that contradicts the status quo. In social circles where certain behaviors or ideologies are expected, it requires bravery to refuse to conform and to express your true self, even if it means risking rejection or disapproval. Moreover, courage involves embracing the fear of being misunderstood or criticized. It's easy to give in to the pressure of wanting to be liked or accepted. The fear of judgment, whether it comes from colleagues, friends, or even family members, can be paralyzing. Yet true courage means being willing to face that fear and to take a stand regardless of the consequences. It means having the strength to say, "This is who I am, and I will not apologize for it." This bravery allows you to navigate through those difficult moments without shrinking or compromising your identity. The fear of rejection is real, but it pales in comparison to the self-doubt and regret that comes with abandoning who you are. Another critical part of the courage to stay true to yourself is the willingness to face uncertainty. When you choose to live authentically, there are no guarantees. There is no map that shows you exactly where your journey will lead or how others will respond. By embracing your true self, you are essentially stepping into the unknown, taking risks that can sometimes feel terrifying. You don't know how your decision will impact your relationships, your career, or your social standing. But true courage lies in trusting yourself enough to step forward into that uncertainty, with the belief that the reward of living authentically is greater than the security of hiding who you are. In addition, staying true to yourself often requires resilience in the face of challenges. Life has a way of testing your commitment to authenticity, especially when it feels like everything around you is telling you to change. People may challenge your choices, question your motives, or try to persuade you to conform to the norm. These moments can be exhausting, and it's easy to feel defeated or discouraged. But true courage is not about never feeling the weight of these challenges. It's about developing the resilience to push through those moments without losing sight of who you are. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from these external pressures, to learn from the experience, and to remain unshaken in your pursuit of authenticity. It also takes courage to silence your inner critic, the voice inside your head that tells you that you're not good enough or that you should change in order to gain acceptance. Many of us have internalized societal standards or have been conditioned by past experiences to believe that we must be different in order to be valued. Overcoming that internal pressure requires confronting the beliefs and fears that hold you back from fully embracing your identity. It means acknowledging that the voice telling you to change isn't your true voice. It's a projection of external influences and old insecurities. And finding the courage to ignore that voice and listen to the true call of your authentic self is an act of profound strength. Furthermore, courage is essential when it comes to setting boundaries. Often staying true to yourself means saying no to things that don't align with your values or priorities. It means stepping away from situations or relationships that demand you to compromise your integrity or identity. Establishing boundaries requires courage because it often involves disappointing others or challenging the status quo. It's much easier to go along with what's expected of you, to stay silent in the face of requests or demands that go against your principles. But real courage is about setting limits on what you will tolerate, both from others and from yourself. By setting healthy boundaries, you honor your own worth and make space for the relationships, experiences, and opportunities that truly resonate with your authentic self. Finally, courage is about accepting the possibility of failure. Staying true to who you are does not guarantee that everything will work out perfectly. There may be moments when things don't go as planned, when your authenticity is not accepted, or when you face criticism for being unapologetically you. In those moments, it's easy to question whether it was worth it to remain true to yourself. But the courage to stay true to who you are is not about avoiding failure. It's about knowing that failure is a part of growth and learning. Even when you face setbacks or challenges, your authenticity remains your greatest asset. The willingness to embrace failure as a learning experience, rather than a reason to abandon your true self, is the ultimate act of courage. Each and every one of us carries a unique value, an inherent worth that is shaped by our individuality, experiences, passions, and perspectives. This value is not something that can be replicated by anyone else. It is the sum of everything that makes you who you are, from your skills and talents to your personal story, your worldview, and your deepest convictions. When you embrace your authentic self and refuse to negotiate who you are, you unlock this unique value, allowing it to shine in ways that are both meaningful to you and impactful to others. The concept of unique value begins with understanding that no two people are exactly. Even though we may share common traits or interests, the combination of our experiences, upbringing, and personality traits is entirely one of a kind. This uniqueness is a strength, not a weakness. When we try to fit into molds or alter ourselves to meet someone else's standards, we deny the world the opportunity to benefit from the specific perspective and talent that only we can provide. It is through embracing our authentic selves that we can offer something truly distinctive, something that no one else can replicate. For example, think about the ways in which our different life experiences shape how we approach challenges or offer solutions. Someone who has lived through adversity may possess a resilience and empathy that others do not have. An individual who has a background in the arts may bring a creative approach to problem
solving that others may not consider.
These unique perspectives add richness and depth to the conversations we have, the projects we work on, and the relationships we build. When you suppress who you are to conform to others' expectations, you withhold these valuable contributions that the world desperately needs.
Yes.
Furthermore, embracing your unique value allows you to step into your purpose. Every person has something they are meant to contribute to the world, and that contribution is tied directly to their authentic self. When you try to be someone you're not, it becomes difficult to recognize or act on that purpose. But when you honor your true identity, your passions, interests, and abilities, you align yourself with what you are meant to do. Your unique value doesn't just benefit you personally, it also benefits others because it allows you to offer something that only you can provide. Whether it's in your personal life or in your career, when you bring your authentic self to the table, you open the door to opportunities that allow you to express your purpose in meaningful ways. Additionally, the recognition of your unique value allows you to build a life that is in alignment with your deepest desires. When you honor who you are not only expressing your talent and ideas, but you are also cultivating a sense of fulfillment. You are pursuing paths that resonate with your core, rather than walking down roads that were mapped out by external forces or societal expectations. This alignment with your true self leads to greater happiness and satisfaction because your actions and decisions reflect who you truly are, rather than who you think you should be. The result is a life that feels purposeful and authentic, rather than one that is shaped by obligation or the need for validation. The unique value you carry also extends to the relationships you form. True connections are built on mutual respect for each person's individuality. When you present yourself authentically in your relationships, you attract others who value you for who you are, not for the version of yourself you think they want to see. This creates deeper, more meaningful bonds that are based on mutual appreciation for each other's unique qualities. Trying to be someone you're not to please others only leads to superficial relationships that are built on a false foundation. But when you embrace your uniqueness, you create space for others to do the same, and together you form connections that are genuine and nourishing. Moreover, your unique value plays a crucial role in your professional life. In a competitive world where many people are striving for similar positions or opportunities, your individuality is often what sets you apart. When you are able to show up authentically in the workplace, you stand out because you bring a perspective and set of skills that no one else has. Your distinct experiences, ideas, and approaches can lead to innovative solutions and creative breakthroughs that others may not consider. In fact, many organizations today are recognizing the importance of diversity, not just in terms of demographics, but also in thought and perspective. Companies are looking for individuals who bring new ideas, who challenge the status quo, and who approach problems in unique ways. By embracing your authenticity, you position yourself to be a valuable asset, someone who contributes not just to the bottom line, but also to the culture and success of the organization. Another important aspect of your unique value is how it allows you to become a source of inspiration for others. When people see you living authentically, they are often inspired to do the same. Your courage to be yourself in a world that encourages conformity can encourage others to embrace their own uniqueness. By owning who you are, you give others permission to do the same, creating a ripple effect that can spread through communities, workplaces, and beyond. Your authenticity becomes a beacon that lights the way for others to follow, and in doing so, you elevate not just your own life but the lives of those around you. The idea of unique value also ties into the concept of self-empowerment. When you realize that your worth comes from being who you truly are, you gain a sense of power that cannot be taken away. Your value does not depend on meeting others' expectations or conforming to external standards. It comes from the simple act of being yourself. This empowers you to make decisions based on what feels right for you rather than what others think you should do. It enables you to set boundaries, pursue goals, and engage in relationships that honor your true self, ultimately leading to a life that is both authentic and fulfilling. In a world that often encourages us to blend in or fit into predetermined molds, embracing and expressing your unique value is one of the most powerful things you can do. By staying true to yourself, you not only unlock your fullest potential, but you also contribute something irreplaceable to the world. Whether in your personal life, your professional endeavors, or your relationships, your unique value is your greatest asset, and it deserves to be nurtured and celebrated. Self-reflection is the cornerstone of authenticity. It is the practice of looking inward to understand who you truly are, your values, beliefs, desires, and the motivations that drive your decisions. Without regular self-reflection, it is easy to get caught up in the noise of the world around you, losing touch with your true self. In a society where external expectations often overshadow internal desires, self-reflection becomes the tool through which you reconnect with your identity and realign yourself with your values. At its core, self-reflection is about taking the time to pause and ask yourself deep, meaningful questions. What do I truly care about? What are my core beliefs? What brings me joy and fulfillment? These are not questions to be answered in haste, nor are they questions that can be answered based on others' expectations. They are questions that require time, patience, and introspection. Self-reflection allows you to peel away the layers of societal conditioning, external pressures, and fleeting desires to uncover what is most essential to you. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to become distracted by the demands of work, relationships, and daily responsibilities. We often rush through life without stopping to check in with ourselves. But without self-reflection, we risk losing sight of who we are, what we want, and why we make the choices we do. It becomes all too easy to fall into patterns that do not serve us, pursuing careers we don't care about, staying in relationships that don't align with our values, or suppressing our true passions because we think they're not practical or socially acceptable. Self-reflection allows you to assess whether the path you're walking aligns with your authentic self or if you've unconsciously veered off course. It gives you the opportunity to course correct, to let go of old habits, and to consciously choose actions that reflect your true identity. Self-reflection also plays a critical role in personal growth. It provides the space for you to understand your strengths and weaknesses, your triumphs and failures in a non-judgmental way. By reflecting on your past experiences, you can identify patterns in your behavior and thought processes that either support or hinder your progress. For example, reflecting on past decisions, especially mistakes or failures, offers an opportunity to learn and grow. It allows you to ask questions like, what did I learn from this experience? How can I approach a similar situation differently in the future? Self-reflection thus becomes a continual process of learning from your past to create a more authentic and fulfilling future. Additionally, self-reflection helps you recognize when you're straying from your core beliefs and values. It's easy to be swayed by the opinions of others, to get caught up in the expectations placed on you by family, friends, or society, or even to be motivated by external rewards such as money or status. Over time, these external forces can push you further away from your true self, but self-reflection gives you the space to check in with your inner compass and assess whether your actions, decisions, and behaviors align with your deepest values. It allows you to bring awareness to the moments when you might be sacrificing your authenticity in favor of fitting in, and it empowers you to realign with what truly matters to you. This process is key to living a life that is congruent with your values, rather than one shaped by external expectations. Another important aspect of self-reflection is its role in cultivating self-compassion. Often when we take the time to look inward, we may be confronted by uncomfortable truths about mistakes we've made, fears we've suppressed, or parts of ourselves we don't like. Without self-compassion, these reflections can lead to self-criticism and judgment. However, when approached with kindness and understanding, self-reflection becomes a way to forgive ourselves, embrace our imperfections, and learn from our experiences without feeling shame or guilt. It teaches us that we are allowed to grow and evolve and that our mistakes don't define us. Self-compassion nurtures our authenticity because it allows us to accept ourselves fully as we are, rather than striving for an idealized version of who we think we should be. Furthermore, self-reflection promotes clarity in decision-making. Life is full of choices, some small, some monumental. Without understanding who we are and what we truly want, it can be difficult to make decisions that feel right. Self-reflection allows you to filter through the noise of external influences and make choices that are aligned with your authentic self. Whether it's deciding on a career path, choosing a partner, or determining how to spend your time, the ability to reflect on your values, desires, and long-term goals ensures that your decisions are congruent with the life you want to build. This clarity fosters confidence, as you can trust that the choices you make are the right ones for you, based on a deep understanding of yourself. Self-reflection also creates an ongoing dialogue with yourself. It is not just a process you engage in once or twice, but a habit that, when practiced regularly, deepens your understanding of your changing self. Over time, your values, beliefs, and desires may evolve, and self-reflection allows you to stay connected with these shifts. For example, as you grow older and gain new experiences, your perspective on life, relationships, or career may change. Self-reflection helps you stay aware of these changes and make intentional adjustments that keep you aligned with your current self, rather than clinging to an outdated version of who you were. Additionally, self-reflection encourages mindfulness. In our busy lives, it is easy to get caught up in autopilot mode, reacting to situations, rushing through tasks, and living with intentional thought. But through self-reflection, you develop mindfulness, the ability to be present with yourself and with your thoughts. It teaches you to pause and really listen to your inner voice, to understand what you need, and to discern your true desires from the noise of the external world. Mindfulness through self-reflection cultivates awareness in your everyday life, allowing you to make decisions that are conscious, thoughtful, and aligned with your authentic self. Ultimately, self-reflection is the process of reconnecting with your true self, checking in with your inner compass, and ensuring that you are living a life that reflects your values, beliefs, and passions. It is an ongoing journey of growth, learning, and personal evolution. By taking the time to reflect on your life, your choices, and your experiences, you gain clarity, confidence, and a deeper understanding of who you are and what truly matters to you. It empowers you to live authentically, to stay aligned with your values, and to make decisions that are in harmony with your true self. Setting and maintaining healthy boundaries is one of the most important aspects of staying true to who you are. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They are a way to protect your energy, your time, and your emotional well-being. They serve as an essential framework for ensuring that you live authentically, as they allow you to define where you end and where others begin. Without clear boundaries, it becomes difficult to maintain your identity because you are constantly accommodating the needs, desires, and expectations of others. Over time, this can lead to burnout, resentment, and a profound sense of being disconnected from your true self. At the core of boundaries lies the principle of self-respect. When you set a boundary, you are essentially saying, "I respect myself enough to protect my values, my time, and my energy." Boundaries are an expression of your self-worth. They tell others how you expect to be treated and show that you value your own needs as much as you value the needs of those around you. Without boundaries, it becomes easy for others to overstep, take advantage, or demand more than you are willing or able to give. This can lead to feelings of frustration and depletion because you are constantly giving and compromising without regard to your own limits. One of the key challenges in setting boundaries is the fear of conflict or rejection. Many people are afraid to set boundaries because they worry that others will be upset or that it will harm their relationships. The truth, however, is that setting boundaries is an act of self-preservation, not selfishness. Boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships because they create a sense of mutual respect. When you are clear about your limits and communicate them with confidence, you are fostering an environment in which both you and the other person can interact authentically. It might be uncomfortable at first, but over time, those around you will come to understand and respect your boundaries. In fact, they will likely appreciate your honesty and your commitment to maintaining a healthy dynamic. Setting boundaries also involves recognizing that you are not responsible for the emotions, reactions, or well-being of others. One of the biggest misconceptions about boundaries is the idea that if you say no or enforce a limit, you are being unkind or inconsiderate. On the contrary, when you set boundaries, you are showing respect for both yourself and others. You are acknowledging that both parties have needs, and you are not obligated to sacrifice your own needs in order to meet someone else's. This is especially important in relationships where there may be a tendency to overgive or to prioritize others at the expense of your own well-being. By learning to say no when necessary, you allow yourself the space to say yes to the things that truly matter to you. Another critical aspect of boundaries is understanding that they are fluid and dynamic. Boundaries are not rigid walls that block connection, rather they are flexible lines that allow you to protect your well-being while still engaging with the world in a meaningful way. Life circumstances change and your needs evolve, which means your boundaries may need to adjust over time. For example, when you are in a new relationship, you may need to establish certain boundaries around communication, time, or emotional availability. However, as the relationship deepens and trust is built, those boundaries may shift or become more flexible. Similarly, in a professional setting, you may need to set clear boundaries around your work hours or personal space, but as you progress in your career, you may find that you're able to establish new boundaries or adjust existing ones. Boundaries also play a significant role in emotional self-care. Often people struggle with emotional exhaustion because they are constantly absorbing the emotions of others. They feel responsible for others' feelings, problems, or struggles, which can lead to a depletion of their own emotional resources. Setting emotional boundaries allows you to recognize that while you can be empathetic and supportive, you are not responsible for managing someone else's emotions. This distinction is vital for maintaining your own emotional health and well-being. It also allows you to engage in relationships from a place of balance, where both parties are equally responsible for their own emotional experiences. In the workplace, boundaries are essential for maintaining professional integrity and ensuring that you do not compromise your personal values. Without boundaries, it can be easy to become overwhelmed with work tasks, requests from colleagues, or expectations from superiors. Over time, this can lead to burnout, stress, and a loss of enthusiasm for your job. By setting clear boundaries around your work hours, your personal time, and your level of involvement in various projects, you protect not only your mental and physical health, but also your ability to perform effectively at work. Boundaries help you manage your workload in a way that is sustainable, ensuring that you don't give more than you can handle or sacrifice your personal life for professional demands. In family dynamics, boundaries are equally important. Often, family members have strong opinions about how you should live your life, and these expectations can be difficult to navigate. Establishing boundaries within your family allows you to maintain your autonomy while still being part of a supportive family network. It's important to communicate with family members about your limits, whether it's around the amount of time you can spend together, the topics of conversation that are off limits, or the level of emotional involvement you're comfortable with. Healthy boundaries prevent resentment from building up, allowing for more genuine and fulfilling family interactions. Additionally, setting boundaries is crucial for protecting your time. In a world that is constantly demanding more of our attention, whether through social media, work, or social obligations, it's easy to lose track of what matters most to you. Setting boundaries around your time ensures that you are prioritizing the activities and relationships that align with your values and contribute to your well-being. For example, you may set boundaries around how much time you spend on work emails outside of office hours, or how much time you dedicate to social media. By reclaiming control over your time, you make space for activities that bring you joy, fulfillment, and peace of mind. Boundaries are also vital for preserving your physical health. Often people overextend themselves physically, whether by taking on too many tasks, working long hours, or neglecting self-care in an effort to please others or to meet external expectations. Setting boundaries around your physical energy allows you to recharge, rest, and maintain a healthy balance between work, personal life, and self-care. Physical boundaries might include taking regular breaks throughout the day, ensuring that you get enough sleep, or saying no to social events when you need time to yourself. By respecting your physical boundaries, you preserve your energy and well-being, allowing you to engage more fully in all areas of your life. Ultimately, the power of boundaries lies in their ability to help you live a life that is aligned with your authentic self. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, self-preservation, and self-care. They allow you to protect your time, energy, emotions, and values from external pressures and to engage with others from a place of clarity and balance. By learning to set and maintain boundaries, you are reinforcing the importance of your own identity and creating the space necessary to live a life that is true to who you are. Authentic relationships are the foundation of a meaningful and fulfilling life. When you negotiate who you are to fit into someone else's expectations, the connections you form will often be shallow and unfulfilling because they are based on a false version of yourself. The true essence of any relationship, whether it's with family, friends, or romantic partners, can only be established when both individuals show up as their authentic selves. Authentic relationships thrive on mutual respect, trust, and honesty, and these qualities can only exist when each person is comfortable and confident in expressing their true identity. The first step in cultivating authentic relationships is embracing vulnerability. Vulnerability is not about oversharing or being emotionally exposed in a way that feels unsafe. It's about being willing to let down your guard and show others who you really are. This means being honest about your feelings, desires, fears, and weaknesses without the fear of judgment or rejection. It's in this space of openness that true connection happens. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you give others permission to do the same, and this creates a relationship dynamic that is built on trust and authenticity. Being authentic in relationships also means honoring your own needs and boundaries, as well as respecting those of others. In an authentic relationship, there is no need to overcompensate, please others, or ignore your own well-being for the sake of the relationship. Instead, both parties are free to express their desires, set boundaries, and communicate openly. When both people are able to be themselves, without fear of judgment or the need to constantly change who they are to meet the expectations of the other, the relationship has the potential to grow and deepen. Authentic relationships allow for personal growth, mutual support, and a true sense of belonging. In romantic relationships, the importance of authenticity cannot be overstated. Too often, people enter into relationships with preconceived notions of what they should be, or with the desire to mold themselves into an idealized version of what their partner wants. This leads to a disconnect between who you truly are and how you present yourself in the relationship. When both partners feel the need to hide parts of themselves, whether it's because of insecurity, fear of rejection, or the desire to please, it prevents the relationship from reaching its full potential. A truly authentic romantic relationship is one where both people feel accepted, loved, and valued for who they genuinely are, not for who they think they need to be. This level of authenticity also extends to how you communicate within the relationship. Honest and open communication is key to resolving conflicts, expressing needs, and understanding each other's perspectives. When you're authentic, you communicate not only what you want or need, but also why it's important to you. You are open to listening, to understanding, and to having difficult conversations when necessary. This creates an environment where both people feel heard and valued, and it strengthens the relationship over time. Authenticity in relationships also means embracing each other's differences. Every person comes with a unique background, personality, and perspective, and in authentic relationships, these differences are celebrated rather than hidden or ignored. Embracing diversity within relationships allows for personal growth and enrichment, as each individual brings their own experiences, insights, and knowledge. Authentic relationships thrive when both parties are willing to respect and appreciate each other's individuality, without trying to force the other person to conform to their own ideas of what is right or acceptable. This acceptance fosters an environment of mutual respect and understanding. When you approach relationships authentically, you are also more likely to attract people who are aligned with your values and who appreciate you for who you truly are. Often people settle for relationships based on external factors, such as physical attraction, social status, or shared interests, without considering the deeper, more meaningful aspects of connection. These relationships may feel enjoyable on the surface, but lack depth and fulfillment. On the other hand, when you are true to yourself, you attract individuals who resonate with your values, who appreciate your individuality, and who are interested in a deeper, more meaningful connection. These relationships are more likely to be long-lasting and fulfilling, as they are rooted in mutual understanding, respect, and shared values. Authentic relationships also foster a sense of security and safety, both emotionally and mentally. When you are able to be yourself around someone, you feel safe to express your emotions, to share your dreams and fears, and to ask for support when you need it. This safety allows you to be vulnerable without fear of judgment, knowing that the other person values you for who you truly are. In a safe and secure relationship, you can grow together, face challenges together, and support each other through life's ups and downs. This sense of safety is essential for creating lasting, meaningful bonds, as it creates an environment where both people feel seen, heard, and supported. Another important aspect of authentic relationships is mutual growth and support. In these kinds of relationships, both parties are encouraged to become the best versions of themselves, without fear of competition or insecurity. You both cheer each other on, celebrate each other's successes, and offer support during difficult times. There is no need to hold back or diminish each other's accomplishments, because the foundation of the relationship is one of trust and respect. Authentic relationships empower each individual to pursue their dreams, challenge themselves, and grow in their personal and professional lives. This mutual growth creates a sense of fulfillment and deepens the bond between you and the other person. Moreover, authenticity in relationships fosters a deeper sense of intimacy. Intimacy is not just about physical closeness, but also about emotional and psychological connection. True intimacy occurs when both people feel comfortable being vulnerable, sharing their thoughts and emotions, and being open to each other's needs. When you are authentic, you can connect on a level that goes beyond surface-level interactions. You can share your deepest fears, your biggest dreams, and your most personal thoughts, knowing that you will be accepted and understood. This level of emotional intimacy creates a bond that is unbreakable, and it allows you both to experience a sense of closeness that is grounded in mutual trust and respect. Authentic relationships also help to build resilience in times of adversity. Life is full of challenges, and having people in your life who accept and support you for who you truly are makes it easier to face difficulties. When you know that you have people who genuinely care about you, who accept you with all your flaws and imperfections, you can face tough times with greater strength and courage. These relationships provide the emotional support you need to get through hardships, and they help to remind you of your worth, even when you're struggling. The more authentic the relationship, the stronger the support system it offers, and this makes it easier to overcome life's challenges. Finally, authentic relationships encourage a sense of community and belonging. When you are true to yourself, you attract people who share your values, who appreciate your uniqueness, and who contribute positively to your life. These relationships create a sense of belonging, a feeling of being part of something greater than yourself. Whether it's in your family, friendships, or romantic partnerships, authentic relationships provide you with the support, love, and connection that are necessary for a rich and fulfilling life. In a world where loneliness and disconnection can often feel overwhelming, these authentic bonds offer the deep sense of connection that we all need to thrive. In essence, authentic relationships are the key to living a life that feels truly aligned with who you are. They provide the emotional support, love, and understanding that allow you to grow, thrive, and navigate life with confidence. When you stop negotiating who you are to fit into others' expectations, you create space for relationships that are based on mutual respect, trust, and genuine connection. These relationships are the ones that will stand the test of time, providing you with a sense of belonging, fulfillment, and true happiness. In conclusion, the journey of not negotiating who you are is a powerful and transformative one. It begins with embracing self-awareness, setting boundaries, and nurturing authentic relationships. By refusing to compromise your true self, you create space for personal growth, inner peace, and meaningful connections with others. It's important to remember that authenticity is not a destination, but an ongoing process, a continuous effort to live in alignment with your values, desires, and beliefs. When you stand firm in who you are, you not only unlock your own potential, but also attract people and opportunities that resonate with your true essence. Life becomes richer, more fulfilling, and filled with deeper connections. So never underestimate the power of staying true to yourself. You are worthy of love, respect, and success just as you are. The world needs the real you, not a version shaped by expectations, but the version of you that is unapologetically authentic. Stay true to yourself, and the rest will follow.